Hey, hello there, and welcome to this Healy onboarding presentation on how to maximize your wellness journey with the HealAdvisor app. This is a wonderful app with a lot of different modules that will allow you to really get the most out of your Healy device and just take your Healy experience to the next level. My name is Henry Peña, and I am Healy's onboarding specialist, and it's my pleasure to have you here today. I want to remind you that you are welcome to sign up to this same presentation, but in a live setting where you can ask questions in real time if you wish. I also want to remind you that at the bottom of this video, in the description, you will find a link that will allow you to sign up unless you prefer to use the QR code, of course, right here. And you will also find a link in the description of the video that will allow you to download the slides of this presentation. That way you can keep it for your reference in the future. These are the different topics that we're going to be covering today, which, as you can see, for the most part, are going to be the different modules of the app. We're going to be covering in detail each individual module, so I'm making sure everything is nice and clear. We're going to be talking about the demo experience, which is a tool that Healy World members can use when they want to share Healy with potential members, potential customers, in a very simplified way, depending on the priorities that they have, their wellness priorities. We're also going to be going over the settings of the app, how to set it up, based on the Healy edition that you have. And then we're also, of course, going to be doing that live demonstration where we are going to be going over everything we explained in the slides. We're going to be showing it in the app so that you can follow along. Now, before we get started, I do want to go over our quick medical disclaimer. I just want to remind you that there are certain contraindications that the Healy has. This is something that you're going to find in many of the different manuals that we have, including the ones that you're going to find within the Healy box and the instructions for use. So I always encourage everybody to read these, make sure that everything is in order. And if you have any questions, any medical questions, make sure to contact a medical professional, your primary care provider if needed, just to make sure that you're good to go when it comes to using the Healy. And yeah, so again, this is something that you're going to find in many of the different presentations and documents that we have. You can always refer to that in the future. So a quick overview of the HealAdvisor app. As you can see, this app contains different modules. I do have to say that one of the most popular ones, and the one that we're going to be going over a lot in this presentation, is going to be this one, the HealAdvisor Search module, which is what you can see right here. We set it as something separate because a lot of different modules work based on that one. So this one is going to be very important, but don't worry, we're also going to be going over the other modules that you have, which, as you can see, they all contain their own IMF programs. So when you have access to a HealAdvisor app module, they also come with their own set of programs that you can take advantage of when you go on the Healy 2 app. And then, as we were talking about earlier, you also have the option, and this is specifically for those who are registered as Healy World members here at Healy. They can turn one of their devices into a Healy demo device that they can offer to potential customers. And it's a simplified experience that will allow them to explore the potential that Healy has based on whatever they're trying to address in a particular moment, whether it's improving their sleep, improving energy levels, improving mood, etc. So it's a really, really great tool, especially for those who are seeking to share Healy with others. But we will start with the HealAdvisor Search module. So the HealAdvisor Search module, again, is going to be our primary module. When you first open the app, one of the first things that's going to ask you is when you attempt to use the HealAdvisor Search module, you're going to have to select which program groups you have. Remember, this will vary based on the Healy edition that you own. So you do need to know what Healy edition you have. So keep that in mind. Now, if you don't know this, and it's understandable, right, not to know the exact details of all of this, there are different ways that you can go over this. And once we're doing the live demonstration of the app, I'm going to be showing you what it looks like. But there are different ways. You can either go to the Healy 2 app, connect your Healy and look at the different programs that you have and then check these boxes based on that. Or you can also go to the our Healy website. So let me show you what that would look like. So you can go to our Healy website right here, and then you would go to where it says products, Healy for Wellbeing. And then on this tab right here is very useful because if you scroll down, you're gonna see that you will find the different Healy editions. So depending on the Healy edition that you have, you're gonna see all of the different program groups. And then you can basically check those boxes on the HealAdvisor app based on the contents of your Healy edition. If there's anything here that you don't see on the boxes, then you can just simply disregard it because it may not be a IMF program. The HealAdvisor app will only show you IMF programs. So these programs like program paying locally, they will not show in the app. So just check whatever it is that actually shows in the app. So this is an option you can use, or once again, you can go to the HealAdvisor, to the Healy 2 app, and then connect your Healy and then check those boxes based on that. So then once you select all of this, that's when the HealAdvisor Search module experience will start. That's when you're going to be able to start entering keywords that will allow you to find program groups that are relevant based on the issue that you are trying to address, right? So it can be very, very useful. In this case, for example, we place here peace of mind, right? So let's say that you're experiencing maybe unpleasant thoughts or unpleasant emotions, etc., and you're trying to find a way to address that, right? You can type, for example, in this case, peace of mind, but I encourage you to try different things. Right here, the sky is the limit, right? So I do encourage you to experiment with the different keywords, any issues you may be having, and see if there's anything here that shows up for you that it's relevant. Keep in mind that the result that you see at the very top right here, this one that says mental one, is going to be the one that has the highest relevance when it comes to the issue that you're entering here. So we always encourage users to use that to select the first one right here, which are just different packages that we use to organize the different sets of program groups, of programs that you would be getting for a particular result. So again, start with the one at the top. If that one doesn't really have the programs that you seek, or you don't see any programs that resonate with you, try the other ones and then see how it goes. But again, we recommend starting with the one at the top. Once you select that, you're gonna see, for example, in this case, we selected the one at the top, which was mental one. Then at this point, you can see that you get the option to see all of the different programs. So these are actual programs. At the bottom, it shows you the program group where that particular program comes from. So you can always use that as a reference if you ever want to come back to it directly from the Healy 2 app. If you press this little start right here, what that's going to do is that it will take it will basically it will turn into a favorite program. So there's a tab at the top of the app that's called a program pool, and that's basically your favorite tab of programs. So if there's a particular program that you like, you can always just press that little start right there. If you have trouble finding that start, you can also click on the actual program, and then you will also see it right here. So if you actually press on the program, it will take you to this screen, and then here you're gonna see additional details about the program. Again, you see the name of the program group. It tells you a little description of what you can expect from that program. It shows you the duration of the program. It allows you to press this little star to add it to the program pool or turn it into a favorite program. And then you also get the option, of course, right here to start the program. So if you press this button, what that's going to do is that it's going to automatically open the Healy 2 app for you, the app that's color pink that we all know. And then you're going to be able to run the program. At that point, then you're going to have to set the intensity and make sure that, if you're using the cables, making sure everything is connected. But in the case for this app, you can see it's very simple. You enter the keyword, you select the program that you want to run, and that's it. Now, that's not everything that this app or this particular module, search module, can do. This module can also create a program schedule, which is extremely useful if you are, for example, somebody who, again, wants to use Healy, but you're not necessarily sure what programs to run. This can help you if you don't want to feel overwhelmed and relying fully on your intuition when it comes to running these programs. This app will allow you to create a program schedule, and that way you can just follow that in the morning, afternoon, and evening. So that's super useful. So you're gonna see that the way that you create the schedule, because so far we see the program, we can press a little star, we add it to the favorite tab, or the program pool tab. How do we create the schedule, which is ultimately what a lot of people actually come to this app for, to have that schedule. You enter the keyword, you select the result, you get your programs, and then you're gonna want to go right here where it says add search result to IMF schedule. That's really where you want to go. So once we go here, you will be taken to this screen. You press create IMF schedule, and then ultimately you will have your schedule right here. By default, it will just do it in the morning and the afternoon. So this first line represents morning, this second line represents afternoon, this third line represents evening. So let's say that you want to run 3 programs, right? A day. Remember, this is a day. So in this case, we have, for example, Thursday here. We have program in the morning, afternoon, evening. Then on Friday, program in the morning, afternoon, evening. But how do we add a program here in the evening? Because so far we can see that this row right here is empty. How do we do that? Well, it's simple. We would go right here to this little pencil that you can see on the top right corner. And then once you're there, you're going to be taken to this screen. You have the option to add reminders, so that way, once you select the application times and you're like, okay, morning, afternoon, evening, you can set reminders so that you get notifications for the programs that you are setting, for the times that you're setting. So that's an option that you can use. But once you go into the little pencil, you change application times, you're going to be taken to the screen, and here is where you're going to see that you have the option to add the evening or change it depending. Let's say you only want to run 1 program a day. You can also do that if you want to. And then you would press right here where it says update IMF schedule. And then that would be it. Then at that point, you would see that reflected right here with all of the new programs. And then all you have to do is open the app, scroll down, and then you would see the different programs. You're gonna see if let's say it's in the morning where it says current program, you're gonna see that. If it's already the afternoon, then it would show you under the current program, it will show you the second program right here. And if it's evening under current program, it will show you the one from here. And remember, it doesn't only show you the current program. If you actually keep scrolling down, it will also show you all of the programs for today. So that way you can get an overview of what you are expected to run that particular day. So amazing tool. And remember, if you end up pressing this program right here, you will be taken to that blue screen that we saw before, where you see all the description of the program with the little star. And if you favorite the program, it will be right here where it says program pool. It will show right there. And let's say you want to run the program, you have your schedule, you want to run it, you press that little play button right here. That's going to open the Healy 2 app for you, the pink app. And then you are going to be able to run those programs on the Healy 2 app. And that's pretty much it. So you get your schedule based on the need that you're trying to address, and then you go ahead and run it. So with that pretty much covers everything having to do with the search module, the HealAdvisor Search module. Remember, this is, I would say, the core module of this app, because you're going to see that all of the other ones work with the HealAdvisor Search module. Because whenever you get a module for this app, the HealAdvisor app, as I mentioned before, they all come with their respective IMF programs, and those programs will show on the HealAdvisor Search module. When you look for a particular condition, a particular issue that you're trying to address, it will show right there. So that's it for the HealAdvisor Search module, which takes us now to the HealAdvisor Digital Nutrition module. This is a module that it will allow you to get recommendations, like food recommendations based on the type of diet that you have or based on maybe any food intolerances that you have. So that way you can ultimately get a shopping list with ingredients that you can get. Keeping in mind that you're gonna see a number next to each ingredient. They're going to always be showing the foods or the ingredients at the very top are the ones that have the highest numbers. And this is because the higher the number, that means that it has more nutrients that can help you based on the parameters that you entered, which in this case, again, it would be the type of nutrition philosophy that you follow or the type of diet that you follow, the type of nutrition that you follow. And then again, at the bottom, you would also get right here the option to add any food intolerances, which are more than the ones that you see here. This is just like a quick example of them. You actually get a longer gallery of them. So when you first use the HealAdvisor Digital Nutrition module, you're going to see that you're not going to be getting a shopping list. You first, in order to get your shopping list, it will tell you that you first need to create an IMF schedule. So what we did before with the search module, why is that? Well, because these foods that it's showing you or these ingredients that it's showing you are based on whatever topic you're trying to address. So remember, before we went with peace of mind. So if we're trying to address peace of mind, you will not only be getting programs that are designed to focus on supporting peace of mind, you will also be getting ingredients and foods that can help you with that same topic, which is why unless you actually enter a topic on the HealAdvisor Search module, you will not see anything here. So if you're having a difficult time, if you just see a blank screen here and you're like, why is this happening? It's because you first need to go to the HealAdvisor Search module and create that schedule as we did it before. And then once you do that, then you would go ahead and add, you can see that based on the topic that I had selected, in this case, peace of mind, these are the different results that it's showing me. But here it wasn't taking into consideration the type of nutrition philosophy that I have or the intolerances that I have. You can see it right here. Once I go ahead and add that, as you can see right here on the right side, then now you can see that the ingredients have changed. So that's something to keep in mind. That's, again, it's very, very simple, very straightforward. You also get the option to download a PDF with the shopping list. So you're welcome to do that too. And with that, now we can go ahead and talk about the Bioenergetic Vitalization module. So this is a module that is pretty much designed to introduce you to different activities and practices that can support your well-being. And you can see, as you can see right here, you have different activities, right? So these are designed to support your bioenergetic field, right? So ultimately we achieve what is known as bioenergetic vitalization. So you can see different practices, very common, but some of them you may not be familiar with, right? So it is important that, you know, it can open the door to things that you were not aware before. In this case, you know, you have forest walk, you have eye exercises, sometimes mindfulness, meditation, different activities based on nutrition, exercise, lifestyle, etc. So the other cool thing about it is that you can select a specific activities, right? And then you would go here where it says save achieve goals, and then that would actually be saved and it would show like stats based on the different things that you have been accomplishing each day. So that's something you can do and to keep track of the different practices that you have been incorporating into your life. Remember, just like the digital nutrition module, this module also comes with their respective programs, which is why when you use the HealAdvisor Search module, you're going to see that it gives you the option to either select all Healy programs, or you can select only programs from a specific modules, like digital nutrition, bioenergetic vitalization, animal, if you have access to the animal module, etc. So with that, now we can talk about the natural cycle module. So again, the bioenergetic revitalization module is a very, very simple, very straightforward module, as we saw. Just gives you those different practices, and then you can go and check them, and then you get your stats based on that. So that's pretty cool. And then the natural cycle module, it's a module that is designed to provide you with programs to basically harmonize that natural rhythm that you have based on your time zone, based on where you live, and based on the program that you're trying to address in a specific moment. And you're going to see that this is all based, like it's pretty smart. It will actually ask you for your time zone, the hemisphere where you're located, and then it's going to give you programs based on that. And then each program is going to be giving you it's going to be designed for a different organ in the body. Now, keep in mind that this is of all the different modules that we have, I would say, or protocols, this is probably the one that is the most time sensitive. So you're going to see that you actually need to start this on a specific time. It tells you the date, the time of the day that you're supposed to start it, and then it gives you the time in which you're supposed to run each program to. So in this case, you can see 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. We have a full presentation that goes over this in case you want to learn more about it, on how the whole process works. If you're curious on how to do this manually, you can, but the app is designed to basically translate all of that and calculate all of that for you, so that all you have to do is just go to the screen and then say, okay, I'm supposed to drink 2 cups of water, run this program, drink water again, run this program. It will do everything for you. Now, again, you have the option, and you can always refer to this slide right here. And once again, another reminder, you can, on the bottom of the description of this video, you're going to get the link to download these slides. And there's going to be a Tech Tip Tuesday segment. This is a live webinar that we do every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, that you can go here. We talk about it. And then you also have the option to download this is a video that you can go to, that it's a full presentation on the natural cycle module. So I encourage you to watch this. It's super informative, and pretty much goes over every single detail on this module. So yeah, just keep that in mind, and then keep in mind that the natural cycle, as well as pretty much anything having to do with this particular app, the HealAdvisor app, is going to be saved locally on your phone. So that means that if you were to reinstall the app, any progress that you do on this app is going to be deleted. So if you're following a protocol on the HealAdvisor Search module, right, a program schedule, if you were following the natural cycle module, etc., all of that, it's going to be saved locally. So if you delete the app, you reinstall it, anything like that, or you try to use it on a different phone, it will not be shown there, because everything is local. So with that, we can now talk about the HealAdvisor demo experience. Again, this is a great tool for those who are interested in using and sharing Healy with others. So there is a quick video that goes over that. So let's go ahead and take a look.
HealAdvisor Demo Mode, Activation and Deactivation. The Demo Mode is a module in the HealAdvisor app to be used by potential new customers along with a Healy device you lend them. They will go through a 7-day journey where they are given different activities and a video about Healy World on each day. In this tutorial, we're going to walk you through the process of activating the Demo Mode for your Healy device. Here's how. Open the HealAdvisor app and sign in. From the home screen, navigate to Settings, My Healy. Here, you'll see a list of your Healy devices. Below each one, you have the option to toggle the demo mode on or off. Choose the Healy device you want to lend. Activate the demo mode and confirm any prompts. Deactivation is just as straightforward. Once activated, you can launch the HealAdvisor app on another device and use the demo mode for a seamless demo experience. Alternatively, you can log out on the same mobile device and then start the demo mode.
And as you can see, that's how a Healy World member would activate the demo experience using the HealAdvisor app, so that they can now turn their Healy into a demo device and give it to a potential customer so that they can initiate the demo experience. But now what we're going to watch is how it would look like for the potential customer, once they have their Healy with them, what they would need to do to activate this demo experience and start using this Healy device in demo mode. Let's take a look.
Initiating the demo experience. This video tutorial outlines the steps to kick off the demo experience. First, download and install the HealAdvisor app on the potential customer's mobile device. Launch the app and select I have a test device on the startup screen. Register the Healy device by scanning its QR code located on the back. A welcome video will play shortly after. Ensure you accept the privacy statement, terms of use, and declaration of consent by checking the relevant boxes to proceed. Enter your name. Next, you'll be prompted to select your objective for the 7-day experience. Feel free to tap on any goal for more in-depth details. Once decided, select your preferred goal. Kudos! You've successfully initiated your demo journey.
And there you have it. That's pretty much the demo experience. So as you can see, it's just a very simplified interface that will introduce the potential customer to Healy based on their priorities, whether it's mood improvement, sleep improvement, higher levels of energy. Again, that way they don't need to think so much about the different apps that they have. They can just say, all right, I just need to follow this protocol because this is what I am interested in focusing on. So again, it's really, really great for those who are just starting out to avoid overwhelming any new potential customers. So it's very, very useful. And now that takes us to the settings of the app. And we are about to start with the HealAdvisor live demonstration. As you can see, very simple, very straightforward app. But just so you're aware, you can always go to the settings of the app just to check anything additional with the app. You have the information center, you have useful links there, the Healy News, the Healy Academy, which as we know, it's that platform that members can use to continue learning about Healy. You have a download section, you have the help center, etc. And then within the settings of the app, the most useful settings right there is going to be if you go where it says My Healy, you will be taken to this page where you can see the Healy associated with your account. So if you're ever wondering if you have a Healy and it's associated with your account, you can always go to the HealAdvisor app, go to where it says My Healy. Let me point it out right here. You can go My Healy. That's going to take you to the screen and it's going to show you all of the Healy devices linked to your Healy account. You get the option to switch the current from high to low. That's mostly useful. You're going to be using the Healy 2 app and you find that the current is too strong, you can change it to low. If you find that you're having trouble getting that conductivity warning to go away, you can change it to high. So something to experiment with, keeping in mind that you can also change that setting within the Healy 2 app, but you also have the option here. And then as we showed just now, this is how you would activate that demo mode. Another important setting right here is this one called program groups. That setting right there is what's going to allow you to change your Healy edition. So let's say that you originally had a Healy Gold edition and then you upgraded to a professional. Your program groups will obviously change. Now you have a wider variety of program groups. So what you will need to do if you want to get recommendations of all the program groups that now you have, you will go to settings, because of course you also have the option to reinstall the app and go to that initial screen where you check the boxes. But instead of reinstalling the app, what we recommend is you go to settings, program groups, and then right there, you're going to get a little option right there it's going to take you right there to those check boxes that you can start checking depending on the programs that you have. And with that, we can go ahead and start the live demonstration of the HealAdvisor app. So this is just going to be me going the different settings and all of the different modules that we just talked about, but right there in the app so you can see it and follow along with your phone. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and open the HealAdvisor app. It's the one right there on the right side. So I'm going to open it. This is what it would look like the first time that you open it, keeping in mind that you do need to sign into the app using your credentials. So the same credentials that you would use to go to your Healy account on the website, Healy website, or the HealAdvisor Analyze 2 app, you would use those exact same credentials. Once you log in, you would be taken to the main screen, which is this one right here. Remember, the access to these modules will vary depending on the edition that you have. You may have an edition that doesn't have access to the modules like bioenergetic vitalization, digital nutrition. You may only have access to the search module. So just something to keep in mind. So the most important one, the one I want to go over with first is going to be the search module. Keeping in mind that on the top left corner, you also get access to your account and you can see the different settings about the app. You can add your picture if you want. So you can definitely do that. But let's go ahead and show you what it will look like if we want to start using the HealAdvisor Search module. You're going to see that regardless of the module that I try to start with, so let's say I go for the animals or the bioenergetic vitalization, digital nutrition, it doesn't matter. As long as I press that magnifying glass, it will take me to the HealAdvisor Search module, and then it will take me to this screen where it asks me to select my Healy edition. So I can also end on that exact same screen by going on by using the icon on the bottom in the center of the screen at the very bottom. There's a search. You can press search. That's gonna do the exact same thing. It's gonna take you to the screen where it's gonna ask you to select your Healy edition. So we go ahead and select, we say yes, I want to select my Healy edition. And let's say we don't know what edition to choose here. Remember, that's where I would recommend go back on the presentation and see where I was going, the search module. Remember, you can go to the Healy website and go where it says Healy for Wellbeing, and you're going to see a section right there that it's going to allow you to select, to see what programs come with your Healy edition and select the different program groups. Alternatively, you can go ahead and turn on your Healy, right? You press the power button, make sure that green light is blinking. You go to the Healy 2 app, and there we go. So we select the Healy in this case, and we connect it. And then once we connect, you're gonna see the Bluetooth light will light up. That means the Healy has connected, and at that point, you will be taken to the main screen of the Healy 2 app, which is right here. And then we have the program groups right here. So something that you could definitely do is start checking. You say, all right, do I have animal groups? Do I have the animal programs? And then you check, okay, do I have animal programs? Yes, I have them. All right. So then you go ahead and check them. So that's what you would do. In this case, my particular case, I'm just going to go ahead and check everything. Keep in mind, if you have a professional edition, I know a lot of us have a professional editions, the programs that you would want to check, you probably won't have access to animal programs unless you actually purchase it. But if you have a professional edition, you will want to check pretty much everything. Deep Cycle is the older version of Deep Cycle H, so you want to check Deep Cycle H. You want to check all of this. HRV programs will probably be disabled, so you will not be able to check it. We go job, learning, we check all of this. And if you don't have access to Natural Cycle, that's going to be unchecked, so you don't need to worry about that. And so let's say you have a professional edition. Usually, users of a professional edition would leave unchecked well-being. They will leave unchecked Natural Cycle. They will leave HRV. They would leave the older Deep Cycle. And then they would also leave the animal programs if they don't have access to the animal programs. Everything else can pretty much be checked. But in this case, I do have access to in my Healy Advisor to the Wellbeing, so I'm just gonna go ahead and check that. The only ones I also have, again, I have access to the older Deep Cycle, but I'm just letting you know that just in case you have a professional edition, those will be the ones that you would normally leave unchecked. The animal ones, the older Deep Cycle, the HRV programs, the Natural Cycle, and the Wellbeing. Everything else you can go ahead and check. So we save the settings, and then here we are. So in this case, now you have this section right here where you can go ahead and start typing things. So let's go ahead and say, let's assume I have a headache, right? So in this case, I type head. You can type head and you can already start seeing those results. So the very first result, it's head harmony. Now, let's say what happens if I type headache. Let's see whether it would change. So in this case, I type headache, there we go. So we can see that now it changed. It was first head harmony, now it's showing relief too. So now it's indicating this has something to do with you're looking for some sort of relief. But because the word that I type here is headache, it already knows that I am trying to focus on my headache. So again, sometimes you want to experiment. You can try first with head, then you can try with headache. And again, that just varies depending on the issue you're trying to address. But in this case, type headache, I would go for the result at the very top, relief 2. If I'm not satisfied with those results, I can always check the other ones. If, let's say, you think your headache has anything to do with your ears, and you can go and maybe check that one that says harmony ears. So sometimes you kind of just want to check different options. You can see head harmony still shows up there as one of the top results. It's just at the bottom of these top results. But in this case, let's just go with relief 2. Let's see what it shows. We can see that there is a decent sized gallery of a total of 13 programs. 4 of those come from the digital nutrition program. So you will need to have access to the digital nutrition programs in order for you to be able to use those 13 programs in total. But in this case, now I have this. As I mentioned earlier, you have the option to click on a program, in this case, Head Harmony. Now I see the description, the duration, kind of like the description of what I can expect. Harmonization of the bioenergetic field to reduce tension. So I know this has to do with tension. So maybe you're struggling with stress, anything like that. It may help release that tension that's being caused by that stress. So in this case, you have relief 2. Was the particular search result that we entered. Let's say that I want to add this program to my program pool. Let's say I really like this program. I selected and I started, and then it's going to show in the program pool. Let's say that there are multiple programs that I like. Let's say I like that one. I like release. I like mine. Where would this show up? This would show on the program pool that we're going to see later. So you would press at the bottom where it says programs, it will show right there. But before I do that, I want to show you what I need to do in order to create my schedule. Remember, if you simply want to run one program, let's say that one day you're having a headache and you're just like, okay, I want to run a program, you can choose the one at the very top. That's technically the one with the highest priority. So you can go on Head Harmony, you press Start Program, and then what that's going to do, you can see immediately, since I already had my Healy 2 app open, it's launching the program for me already. So all I have to do is press start, and the program will immediately start on my Healy 2 app, the one that's color pink. That's where I'm currently at. So you can see that it opened the Healy 2 app for me. So in this case, we're not going to be doing that. Remember that you will also need to choose the proper accessory. All the programs that this app will recommend you are going to be IMF programs, individualized microcurrent frequency programs. And what that means is that all of those programs, you can use them with your Healy coil. Now, we want to create our program schedule. So we would go back here, and remember, it's that pink text that says add search result to IMF schedule. That's where we want to go. We press right there. Here we leave everything as is. We don't need to do anything else. All we have to do is go where it says create IMF schedule. That's going to go ahead and create that schedule for us. It just takes a few seconds, and then here we have it. As you can see, by default, it will only select morning and afternoon. You can see it right here. So you're only showing morning and afternoon. That's the first row, second row. If you want to go ahead and change that, you can go on the little pencil on the top right corner, which select where it says change application times. If you press where it says change reminders, let me go there. That's where you would select and add reminders, so that the app will send you a notifications, so that you're reminded of actually running the programs. But here, what we would need to do, if we go to a little pencil, change application times, then we can select evening 2. Or let's say you only want to run one program, and that only one program you want to run is in the afternoon. Then you can go ahead and disable the ones for the morning. You can see on the top, it says for the morning, afternoon, evening. So let's say you want to run 3 programs every single day. Always, for example, we recommend, you can see that Sunday is always left blank like that by default. And that is because we always recommend leaving one day of the week without running any program, so your body can properly assimilate the frequencies. So at this point, you would just go ahead and say, let's say this is what you wanted. You say update AMF schedule, we press OK, and now you can see these are my programs. And for next week, we can see all of these programs right here. You can see you can select each day and it will show you the different programs that you would see each day. In Friday, you can see now different programs. And as you can see, the programs at the bottom, since right now I'm in the morning, the first program is Exhaustion Systemic, which is the same one that is my current program because I'm in the morning. So first program of the day is this one, and it's also my current program. Remember, all of the programs that this app will recommend you, like you can see this one that says systemic, are going to be systemic programs designed for the full body system. So these are not going to be local programs, which means that you can always use the Healy coil if that's what you prefer. Just something to keep in mind. All of the programs that this app will recommend you can be used with the Healy coil. So keeping that in mind. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. So you create your schedule, then you start running the programs, and that's it. So let's go over the other modules that we were talking about. So just quickly go over there, right? So the other one we talked about was the digital nutrition. So now that I created my program schedule, if I go where it says shopping list, you can see that now I have programs here. Before I created that list, this would have been empty. This shopping list would have been empty. So if you try to use this module and you still haven't selected your program schedule, this will be empty. Now it's showing me the programs based on there are no parameters. So if I want to change my nutritional type, so let's say I go with Ayurvedic nutrition, and let's say low carbohydrate, and then I don't know, let's say vegan. I say here, and then let's say I have lactose intolerance and gluten intolerance. I press confirm. Now you can see that these are the different ingredients that is recommended me. A lot of nuts, vegetables, but you can see that the ones at the very top, that number 5, that indicates how many nutrients they have. Let's say you forget about that. Let's say you don't I don't know what these numbers mean. You have that little blue icon on the top right corner of the app with the question mark. You can access that icon on pretty much everywhere in the app, and that's the tutorial mode of the app. So let's say I press here, it's going to tell you, it's going to give you important information about wherever you are on the app. So that you can start the tutorial mode, you can press those little blue icons and it will tell you information about the app. In this case, the shopping list, it will tell you, let's say I go right here, shopping list. It says these items contain foods that are relevant for you based on your active topics. And then it says that they're sorted based on priority, and the number behind the food shows the number of recommended nutrition elements, vitamins, minerals, etc. So that's how you would check it. Remember, you can access that tutorial mode anywhere in the app. So let's say you don't only need to access it here. You can see it right there, right here, right in the main page. You see it right there. Programs, we see it right there on the top. So you can always use that if you have any questions about something in particular within the app. So that's a digital nutrition module. We also have the Bioenergetic Vitalization module, which, as I mentioned, if you press where it says your daily revitalization, that's where you would press start, and then you would get that list with different activities and different practices that you can incorporate into your life to improve your well-being. Remember, the Healy is a supportive tool, an amazing supportive tool, but you want to make sure that you're doing everything you can to improve your well-being, whether that's improving your nutrition, exercising, meditating, etc. So these are just different activities that you can do to start incorporating those great benefits into your life. Some bathing, breathing exercises, meditation, different types of nutrition. So those are the different categories. You have exercise, lifestyle, and nutrition. Very important, right? All right, so let's say that today I meditated. So let's say I activate meditation, I practice, I sunbathe, I did some breathing exercises, and maybe I did some Tai Chi or other activities to activate the parasympathetic nervous system. So let's say that's what I did, right? I can say save achieve goals, and then they will show right here on this graphic, and you would see the graphic being updated every day as you start checking those boxes. Let's say that you want to modify something, you can go ahead and go back to the little pencil here and change it. Right now, these are the ones that I have saved, and then that's it. So this is the way it would look like. Then you can just go ahead and go back, and that's it. So that's the bioenergetic vitalization module. And then lastly, we have the natural cycle, right? So with the natural cycle, you have, again, it's very simple. It's super straightforward because yes, even though we have a long presentation, that video that I was talking about earlier, it explains the background of everything that's happening within this module, having to do with the organs and the time zone and the moon cycles and the seasons and all of that. The app will do that for you, so you don't really need to think about any of this. So you would go right here, you wanna enable settings and allow notifications. This particular module does need you to activate notifications, so we say yes, and then once we activate it, then we're here. You select the proper time zone based on where you are. So in this case, I'm in Eastern time, so let me go ahead and change that to Eastern time zone right here. So we go here in the northern hemisphere. So we calculate start date, and there we go. So now I have my start date. So keep in mind, you will not be able to do anything with this until the start date, which again, this will be purely based on the season, the moon cycle, and other different factors. So don't be desperate. I know sometimes we just want to start with this, but keep in mind, you do want to make sure that this is actually following your natural cycle. So you do need to wait for those trigger dates. So in this case, that's the date and time that it's giving me. You can get a preview of what you're expected to run by pressing where it says set reminder. You're going to be seeing right here. This is what we're going to be starting with. So drinking glasses of water, running those programs to address those specific organs at that specific time, running the stabilization daily program. And again, if you want to know more about this and what's happening, watch that video that it's before the link right there in the presentation, which I will also be leaving at the bottom on the description of this video. So make sure that you watch that if you want to learn more. And then remember, you can set reminders for this, so that way when the time comes for the natural cycle to start, you can see right here, start date, that day specifically on June 20th of 2025, you would be getting a notification on your phone. That way you will not miss it. So super important. And that pretty much covers all the modules, because the other ones are simply, again, as I mentioned earlier, they are linked to the search module. So if let's say I want to go to the animal module, I press animal IMF programs, and all it's going to do is just show me the search module for the animal programs. And the way if I am looking to address something having to do with a pet, right? And let's say it's something having to do with the eyes, I can type eyes here. And then in this case, now it's showing me something only for the animal programs having to do with eyes. So that's something that you can do. Let's say, for example, I don't know, skin, maybe animal harmony skin. So in this case, we go right here, and you can see it's showing me different programs only for the animals. So again, this is just a tool that you can use to select programs based on the module that you're trying to use, which you can always remember, you can simply check and uncheck right here things. So that's pretty much it. As I mentioned before, you have the information center right here with the Healy News, the Healy Academy. But remember, you can access a lot of these resources right from your computer, which is probably going to be easier to see that way. You have on the Programs tab, this is where we were before, the IMF schedule. Remember when we selected the little star in next to like 4 different programs? If I want to see those programs, I go where it says program pool. You can see, oh, we selected 3 different ones. So it was Heart Harmony, Release, and Mind. Again, so if there are programs, whenever you're running these protocols, you find that there are programs that you really enjoy and you experience great benefits with those programs. Just remember that you can add them to this program pool and add them as your favorite. That way you will have quick access to them whenever you open the app. All you have to do is go to programs and they will be right there on the program pool. And then lastly, we have the settings. This is what I was mentioning earlier. You can go where it says My Healy, and then that's going to show you all of the different Healys associated with your account. Change the current level, activate the demo mode if that's what you want to do. Remember, you can go previously on the video where we went over how to activate this and how the person, once they have the potential customer, once they have the Healy, how they would take advantage of that. And then the other important link right here on settings, of course, you can change the language if you want, but the other one is program groups. This is what I told you. You can change your reminders and then you go where it says your Healy edition. Let's say that you upgraded your Healy or something happened and for some reason you needed to change the program groups. You can always go here, save settings, and then it would be updated. And that pretty much covers everything you need to know about the HealAdvisor app. We went over the different modules, the HealAdvisor Search, the Bioenergetic Vitalization, the Digital Nutrition, the Natural Cycle, and those are going to be, for the most part, the modules that you're going to have. Keeping in mind the Natural Cycle is a separate subscription, or you can also get it permanently, but it's a separate purchase. So just keeping in mind that if you have a professional edition, you will only have access to the search module, the bioenergetic vitalization, and the digital nutrition, not the animal or not the natural cycle. And then also, now the exception is going to be the Healy Obsidian edition, which does come with those additional modules. But with that pretty much covers everything we needed to talk about the HealAdvisor app. So with that, I just want to say thank you so much for being here today on this presentation on how to maximize your wellness journey with the HealAdvisor app. I hope that it was useful and I hope you now understand the potential of this amazing app and that you understand that if you find yourself kind of like not sure what programs to run or anything like that, this app is amazing for that. It can really help you pinpoint which programs can benefit you the most based on the issue you're trying to address. So make sure you take advantage of that. That's why the app is there. And remember, we have an amazing customer care team that is always super happy to answer any questions you may have. Also, remember that if you want to sign up for this presentation in real time and ask me questions in real time, you're welcome to sign up. And the link, you will find it right there, the description of this video. Remember, you can also download the presentation slides. So yeah, the resources are there. Make sure you take advantage of them. And yeah, with that, again, I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you later. Take care. Bye-bye.